Hi, my name is Brian Kearns. This is my fifth year teaching. It's my third at Central High School in Grand Junction, Colorado. I teach Spanish 1, Spanish 3, Español para Hispanohablantes, and also AP Spanish. We are currently doing a pilot program for performance-based learning in our Spanish 1 classes here at the school. I am also an assistant cross-country and track coach. My wife and I have been married for 6 years. We have 3 kids. Our oldest, Caleb, is 4, and our twins, Haley and Skylar, are both 1. Lots of things I enjoy when I'm not teaching. I like running, playing with my kids, reading, staying up to date with current events. I like to cook, being outdoors, and somewhere in all that, I do find time to sleep occasionally. So a little bit about how I use technology in my classroom. Some of the advantages that I've seen is we have access to an infinite amount of information. We can do whatever we want to, find out whatever we want to, whenever. Access to the world that we live in. We can see the way the world is working right now. The ability to build relationships with students through technological connections. They see that I use different social media sites and they get interested in my life, and I get interested in their life as well. We are able to individualize instruction more. Some of the disadvantages that I've seen, there is more access to distractions when we have technology in the classroom, access to social media sites and games and things. We don't really have up-to-date technology in our classroom. I think our classrooms in Spanish are the most up-to-date in the entire building. There are sometimes we do get slow connection speeds because of the area that we live in. Also, varying student abilities with technology. Some know how to use technology really well and are really comfortable with it. Others would prefer the pen and paper method and just listen and take notes the whole time. There's also, because of a lot of uses with technology, sometimes we lose that personal approach and lack of that one-on-one connections with students. Some things I use in my classroom, students do have their cell phones, so they can use those. I have classrooms that have tablets. We have Amazon Kindles we can use in my room as well. We have access to Chromebooks, and there's different websites that we like to use as well. Microsoft Stream for videos, and also various websites for formative and summative assessments. We also use technology for our performance-based learning and also being able to learn on an individualized pace. So with project-based learning and how we use technology with it, we're using PBL, and so students can work at their own pace. Every day they come in, they can use tablets and or whatever devices they bring. If they bring in their own computer, they can use those. They have access to everything that we work with: videos, practice websites, all things that we've created as a department for them to use to gain the information. So the whole goal with this is that students need to become proficient with the knowledge that they need. We've determined proficiency is supposed to be at 80% or higher for all parts. In order to move on, they have to attain proficiency on everything to that point, and they have to maintain that proficiency afterwards as well. Vocab and grammar assessments that we do are all based online and can be taken multiple times until proficiency is achieved. So this is how it's done with their own paces. They can learn it as they go. So students have access to all the course material. We have the Amazon Kindles, and they can use their own devices at school, as well as they can access all of it from home. So if they're ever sick or they're out of town, they can be still working and practicing their Spanish that way. I found that I'm able to spend more time with my students on an individual basis. That way, if some students that are struggling, I can help them. I can develop relationships a little bit better this way. There's also more time that I have, so I can give better feedback with the assessments that we take. Some problems that I also have seen with it is that because we have technology in the classroom, they get off track really easily because they think they can take their time with it, but we still have deadlines they need to be meeting before they start to fail the class. Student frustration, sometimes they get frustrated because they don't think they learn a certain way, when really they just need to be more open-minded, and they actually still can. I've had students struggle, and then they learn that, hey, we can still do this, and they end up doing pretty well still. So some of just critiquing my own use of technology, I will fully admit the performance-based learning that we've done was the idea of our department chair, but I've been supportive with it. I try and do everything I can to bring new ideas to the table with it. Other things with this, some students, like I said before, have very little knowledge on how to use or utilize technology, the distractions that are available to students. And a lot of the tools that we've used in class were developed by the department chair, but I've been able to find someone that contributed myself as well. So other things with my other classes, I try and use technology as much as possible. Do research projects where they need to be looking up information online, different practice websites that they can use, things such as conjugamos.com, Kia, and some other ones as well. All students do have access to their own personal devices, and with with the classroom set of Kindles, they can use those ones as well. They can use those as well. Some other things I've kind of critiqued myself, I know I can get better with, is I've liked the idea of Google Classroom, but I've never been good at maintaining one. I do have a remind.com account, but once again, I've never used it. I'd like to find ways, I've tried to find ways of using Twitter, Facebook, different social media sites as a teaching tool, but I've never had success with that either. So some of my plans to use technology some more, I'd really like to learn how to use social media more to connect with students and to help find ways to use it as a teaching tool. I think it'd be one way I could use it is to use it to connect students with, in my classroom, with students from around the world and other Spanish-speaking countries, so they can actually learn those cultures and interact with people from those countries. I also do think we need more resources for students, having access to updated technology in every single classroom. We have the tablets in my room, which are still 3 years old. Better tools would be really good to have. All these things do cost money. One of the programs I'd like to use is Google Calls, so students can practice speaking individually with me. Also, me having to be able to have school-wide access, having all the stuff that we're using in every single classroom rather than just in our Spanish classrooms. It'd be really good. One of the things this leads to is having a uniform learning platform for students. That way they know what to expect every single day they come into class, regardless of which class it is. Like I said before, some of the big funding issues we would have is it's just not feasible. Our district is one of the poorest districts in the state, and we just don't have the funds to actually provide classroom sets of tablets or Chromebooks for every single classroom in every single school. We do have a high free and reduced lunch rate, which means that a lot of our students can't afford to buy up-to-date technology for themselves. So that's why we need to supply a lot of it. We got really lucky we could get those Kindles at a pretty cheap price, so we could have classroom sets in our Spanish classes. So what are some things I can work with right now? I keep thinking about that is, if we can get more teachers to come in and observe what our current practices are and how technology is with our students, we can getting them thinking about it as well. So thank you for listening, and this is the end of my presentation.